The question becomes, Adam, here we are telling people to, uplift their arc and to have, a dramatic flow for it, etc. Some leaders may be like, okay, what is wrong with not doing all of that? Can I just solve problems, respond to complaints? I mean, God, I already have a lot of work to attend to. Do I really even have to do it, with some sort of, suspense embedded in it? What am I missing? What is wrong with me? I would still, you know, find, so what is in it for them? If we want to speak to them about the value that they get into this, we can speak initially about, their customer relationship or brand value or something.
All the measures that we look at, we talk about loyalty. We talk about whether people are recommending you or not. We talk about the value of the relationship in terms of money. All these things are measured again and again. And if we give a good experience, then we are more successful as a business. If we do that sensibly. And this is not new. We've known this for a long time. You mentioned Joe Pine earlier. Joe Pine talks about you have experiences, and below that services, and below that products, and below that commodities. Yeah. And if my experience only gets it right, well, so do the other guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. Then we only get compared on price. There's a lovely study by Frampton. This is back, I think, in around 2000, maybe even earlier, where they looked at North American hospitals and they talked to a quarter of a million patients, or people who'd recently been patients. Yeah. And I believe this was both US and Canada. I'm not sure, but I think it's two different health systems, I think. Anyway, they asked these people, how was your hospital stay? And they say, or, and they'd say, okay, why do you say that? And the second question was the interesting one. Why? What are the factors that people rate their hospital experience on? And they made a top 10 of this, there was a list of them. And I often like to ask people who are sort of saying, well, why bother with this? I have to get my job right. I say, okay, well, what does a hospital doing its job right means? It means they healed you. So one of the factors in that top 10 is going to be what they would call a positive medical outcome. I got better. Yeah, that's what hospitals actually sell, is I got better. And so I was curious. I got this report and I'm looking through it. I'm trying to find a positive medical outcome in the top 10. And I ask people, where do you think it is? They say, oh, it's obviously number 1, or maybe it's 2 or 3, or some say, oh, it's probably down 7 or 8. It's not even in the top 10. There's nothing about medical success in the top 14 issues. Yeah. And number 14 is pain management. That's not even if I got better. It's how much comfort or discomfort I had while I got better. Because we assume the hospital will make us better. I assume that my power company will provide power and an accurate bill. I presume that my accountant will get the numbers right. That's not even worth talking about. And if I'm going to talk about an organization and become loyal to them, they need to exceed my expectations. Now, part of that is that emotional moment of having my expectations exceeded. But there's also a thing which is crucially important, which is tellability. Do I get a thing which I can explain to the outside world? Because people talk about this. They talk about their experiences, especially when they've been surprised, negatively or positively.
Definitely.
And this is really, really crucial. I remember a few years ago, my colleague Marcus bought a new printer, and I asked him, what's it like? I mean, how do you answer that question? You can't answer that question in dots per square inch. That means nothing, yeah? You can't answer it, it's slightly more economical on the toner. Then they're not stories. I can't tell that. So he told me, it's this good function. You can print out a contact sheet of your USB stick, it was back in the day, or your phone, or whatever. You print out a contact sheet. You cross next to the ones you want, you put that sheet of paper back in again, and it prints out those photos only for you, full size. I mean, it's a nice little function. It's not really that useful, but it's tellable. It's a thing I can explain to someone, and they go, oh, that's interesting. I can't say, it's got 35,000 DPI. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, this is important. It's about having these emotional moments that become tellable, and that's what leads to this business success. That's what leads to, if you're not in business, if you're in public service, you get boosts, for example, through compliance and people working with you better.